Hello again, teachers. John here from Educational Technology, and Zoom is here, or at least it will be shortly. So this first video, just want to go over some of the real basics on getting you in and getting you up and started. Probably the most important thing to know at this point is that this is a domain secure setup, meaning there's going to be some things that are different if you're used to using Zoom on a personal level, and you need to understand that these are all security precautions, and to make sure that we keep you safe and the students safe and that privacy is respected. So first of all, to get into Zoom, it is best to always go through your OrangeUSD dashboard. So if you go into your dashboard, you should see it probably at the bottom, unless you've organized this in a different way. Just look for the Zoom icon and Zoom. Now, note, if you were to just go to zoom.us and try to log in from here, it can be done. It's just not necessarily recommended, because when you click on sign in, this can be a little misleading. You will not use the top part to just sign in using an account. And down at the bottom, you technically have two options that could work, but at some point they're probably both not going to work. So right now, it will actually work if you click on sign in with Google. At some point, that will not work. If you go here, you would need to click on sign in with SSO, which is single sign-on. And then you will actually need to enter our domain, which is OrangeUSD-org, to continue and then get logged in. So it's not quite as fluid of a process, and stuff can go wrong. So once again, it is always best practice to go through your dashboard, click on Zoom from here to get into your account. Another thing that you should know, if you haven't already heard this, if you have a personal account with Zoom, and you are using your @orangeusd.org email, please know that your account will automatically be taken into our domain, which is a good thing and a bad thing. So the good thing is you will now have an upgraded account. So if I go into my account, you will now have an upgrade account with a larger capacity. It will be a licensed user type, and you get all the bells and whistles that come along with that. However, know that if you have stuff set up in a personal account using your district email, you will most likely lose anything in that account, including recordings and settings. So please be aware of that, that because you're using a district email, it is a domained account and will change. Okay, so at this point, once you're into Zoom, and if you click on profile, you guys will see some of the basic information. You might want to make sure that your time zone is Pacific, change your date format, anything there that you guys want turned on or off or set to. So I just want to be able to get you guys into a meeting at this point. So when you are ready to set up your meeting for your class, you can either go to host a meeting, that will just create one right off the bat, or you can go to schedule a meeting, or I'm going to go over here under meetings and click schedule a meeting. Now, when you're setting up your meeting for your class, it is completely up to you if you want to set a different meeting every day. I'm not sure I would personally recommend it. If you want things to just be as simple and secure as possible, just create a recurring meeting, either by subject or by period or just by day. So I'm going to give this a a name, my test meeting. Description is completely optional. When you set a time, typically set it to as close to your normal start time as possible. So for example, if your class starts at 9:05, set it for 9 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and, since right now it is about 11:30, I'm going to go ahead and set mine to 11:30. Just know that students aren't going to be able to join before you're in there anyway, so it really starts whenever you get there. And I'm just going to leave mine at 1 hour. Again, make sure we've got Pacific time. As I mentioned earlier, if this is recurring, just check this box to say recurring and tell it when and how you are recurring. You do not need to do registration. You can just leave that blank, because students will have a key. For security, there is a passcode, but this is embedded in the link that you're going to share with them. There is a waiting room. This is on and it is locked. You cannot turn it off. So this is a security precaution. Again, one of those differences with personal accounts. In terms of video, right now, by default, it is off and off for you and a participant. I would recommend that you turn that on for both you as well as the participant. Audio is set to computer audio so that everybody's getting audio through the computer. We don't want to worry about people calling in, so that is off. And then under meeting options, this is what I was mentioning earlier. They will not be able to join before you join. So that's a good thing in terms of security. And then also, students must authenticate using their orangeusd.org email to ensure you know who they are. They will not be able to change their names. And they will not be able to join from any account outside of orangeusd.org. And then this last part we'll talk about in another tutorial about recording your meeting locally, if that's something you'd like to do. The only other thing up here is mute participants upon entry. That is completely up to you. I think most teachers actually do enable that, because that way when students come in, you don't have this cacophony of people talking all the time. But it's totally up to you. You could always mute them yourself after the fact if you want to just leave that off. So either way, totally up to you. And then the last one is alternative hosts. When you enter somebody here in the OrangeUSD domain, they will receive an email invitation. But this would be a good example, like if you have an instructional aide that you want to help you moderate a session, if you have another teacher joining you, if you have a substitute coming in, if your principal is going to be joining you. It's just an easy way for you to add people in there and ensure that without you having to change settings, they already have all the host controls that you normally would have. So anyhow, that is pretty much it for setting up your meeting. Once you guys click on save, you can get your meeting information here. So probably the easiest thing is to go to where it says invite link, copy the invitation, copy that, and then that is what you can paste into Google Classroom for your students to find your information and join your class. So that's it for this time. Again, we'll be diving into a lot of the different controls, both here in your dashboard as well as in the actual Zoom app once it is launched. So until next time, remember, you cannot be an analog teacher in a digital world. We'll see you next time.